EB's Marathon. This is this is the fourth one, right? Episode 4.
Yep. Episode 4.
I see your settings look a little different now. Can you talk to us about where you're at right now?
Hospital,
what's going on?
And at the Gabriel House. Gabriel House is probably about a mile down the road from the Mayo Clinic, and it's cool. It's a nice place. Everybody here is pretty much cancer patient and their caregiver. Nice roomy, nice room. Double 2 queen beds and just real nice and clean. It's like one gigantic kitchen with 4 different workstations, so you got 4 refrigerators, 4 stoves, 4 dishwashers, 4 sinks, plenty of room for everybody. Has a very large dining area and a nice screened in back porch, so you can eat out there if you want to. And couple of common TV rooms, workout room. They got a library. They pretty much got everything. It's real nice, and it's definitely, at a fraction of the cost of what a hotel would be. So,
right.
Yeah, this is where Melanie has been since the 17th of April. And I stayed a night before I was admitted to the hospital. And she also stayed here back at the end of September, pretty much all of October, when I was first diagnosed. But yeah, it's cool. You bring your own food in, and you mark it so they know it's yours. And everybody's real good about cleaning up behind themselves and things like that. And like I said, just very clean, very relaxing. Much better than being in the hospital where you got people running in and out constantly. You're able to get some sleep. That's the big thing. Able to get some sleep and not have to deal with people, every hour and a half to 2 hours coming in and out of your room. And so, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I like it. And so this will pretty much be home till about the first week of April. First week of August.
The first week of August. Okay.
Yep.
So any mail or anything we need to send you, we're sending you a package or care package or something. You just want to shoot it. We're going to send it to the Gabriel House.
Yeah, you can. You can send it directly here. Yeah. And I don't have the address. I can give you the address. But...
Yeah, I have it. If it changed from last time when you were there last time, I still have that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was the same. Yeah, it's like Gabriel House of Care, and it's like something. Yeah, 4599 Worrell, WORRALL Way. Is it Way? Yeah, Jacksonville. I don't know what the.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to get the zip.
Yeah, I've got it. I'll put.
Yeah, it's a really cool place.
So,
yeah.
And I know that's got to be big for you after. I mean, how many days did you end up just spending in the hospital? You were there like a month, right? Almost a month.
Yep. Pretty much, yeah. Right at a month. We went in on the 18th. Yeah, and they did the transplant on. So we were in for a week. Then they did the transplant on the 25th, and I got out Monday. So whatever Monday's date was. So yeah, it was right at
Monday was the 16th.
Yep, right at a month.
Yep. Yeah, and then the plan that you're there till August. And right now is just you're basically waiting for your blood platelets, white blood cells, everything to continue rising, right?
Yeah, and they want to monitor and make sure that the that the transplant, that the cells are doing what they need to do. I'll have a bone marrow biopsy on the 27th of May. And at that point, they will be able to tell, how much of the donor cells I have and how many of my cells are still there. In a perfect world, my cells would be 0, but the chances of that are probably going to be slim to none on the 27th, So, but hopefully it's a higher percentage, it's, 70, 80, 90% of the donor cells. Anything under 50 would be a problem. And they said they would have to adjust some medications and, have to do some work on that. But they seem pretty confident that, that they think the donor cells will be the dominant ones. And, we'll go from there.
Yeah. So I guess the most important thing is, how are you feeling right now?
Honestly, like trash. I don't feel real good at all. Yeah, I don't feel real good at all. I don't have a whole lot of energy. And I had my first round of appointments. I have appointments Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 3 or 4 each day. So we went over about 9:30 on Monday, and I think we were done about 4 o'clock. And that in itself just wears you out, with all the appointments. And the only thing good about the appointments is you do a lot of walking, and it's good to get, it's good to get to moving around and things like that. But it definitely drains you. But they take labs. Monday they took labs. Or Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Wednesday was my first set of appointments. Yeah. So, but they're normally Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So I got some in the morning. Matter of fact, I got some more scheduled in the morning, starting at 6:45. But they usually start off with labs, and I did the hydration therapy. They did like a hydration therapy thing after that, where they basically just kind of like hook you up to a bag of fluids and make sure you're getting plenty of hydration. And then I had a couple of consultations, and they basically just kind of, lay things out, give you an opportunity to ask any questions, kind of tell you what to expect. And they pretty much have told me what I've been told, that at this point right now, eating is a struggle, and fatigue is going to be a problem. Definitely going to be fatigued, and not to expect any like great advances day to day, because they said day to day I'm just not going to feel it. Said you kind of have to like put it on a weekly basis, and even on a weekly basis it's going to be a little bit at a time. So each week, I'll probably start feeling a little bit better as the time goes on. And they kind of laid it out for me before we even went into transplant. They basically said that 30 days after transplant, I would be questioning, why did I even bother to do this? 60 days after, you start feeling a little better. And so and then that 90-day mark is when you realize that, why you went through this, and start feeling better. So
service is obviously a little shitty in Florida. But you should bounce back on. Just gonna wait a second. Hey, Carol. It's a trip seeing Ursula as he's going through this. Again, I can't say it enough. I tell him this all the time. Like, he is so resilient for so many people. I mean, his attitude daily, his positivity and stuff it's amazing to watch. There you go.
Yeah, I'm back. I got kicked out. Yeah.
Yeah. Got that spotty ass internet.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so that's where I'm at right now. It's just kind of a struggle. My food doesn't taste real good, so I don't really want to eat a whole lot, but I have to kind of like, force it down and get something into my system. Lots of drinking, water, Gatorade, and hopefully, like I said, going by that schedule, 90 days would be on my birthday. So hopefully by the time my birthday rolls around July, I'll get to feeling better, you know, and will
Right.
understand more why I went through this, because right now, like I said, it's kind of rough. I can function and I can move around and do things, but it's just everything is a chore. And it's kind of like you have to, even the smallest things, even just getting up and going to the bathroom, you kind of like, like I got to give myself 2 or 3 minutes to gather myself, and,
Do you end
and
up feeling just like, do you feel really winded?
it's not
Or
really winded. I imagine if I did enough activity, I'm sure I probably would feel, winded. But
uh-huh.
when I actually kind of like walk and things like that, I don't really feel winded. I just feel, I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to explain, but it's like there's no energy there. It kind of reminds me, honestly, of Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry always said that he wanted to get rid of that Medea character because he had to wear that 50-pound weight suit. And that's kind of what it feels like. It feels like I'm walking around with a 50, 60-pound weight suit, and it's like each step is just like, oh man. But I mean, it is what it is, and I know that I'm on the road to recovery, and it's weird because right before I went in to have the transplant and I did the week of chemo, I really felt really good. So, and matter of fact, at that point, you're almost like, well, do I really need to do this? But you do need to do it. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like you had to take 2 or 3 steps backwards, you know, to be able to take the steps forward that you need to take.
Absolutely. Yeah, and again, I mean, the thing that I've read time and time again about it, and what we've talked about is there's a number of people who can't even just get themselves to remission to even get to this
Right,
part of the whole
right,
process,
right. Yeah,
So that in
yeah.
itself
And that was
was
big,
huge,
yeah. And the fact that I was able to do that, yeah, during that first round of chemo, that was really
so
important,
quickly.
because
Yeah,
there are a lot of people that just,
that's
yeah,
huge.
that do not go into remission. And as much as I hated it to go through all those different rounds of chemo, I had to do that to make sure I remained in, remission. So, and it's kind of like they say remission, but
Right.
it's not like total remission. But yeah, the cancerous cells are so,
Yeah.
the numbers are so small at that point that, yeah, you basically, can call it remission.
Right. 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 Yeah. So what are since you've been in the Gabriel house, what's a typical day look like for you? Just lots of napping, you watching TV, you
Yeah,
reading, you
lots of
listen to music.
napping. Yeah, just kind of chilling. Yep, just kind of chilling.
Yeah.
Lots of napping. I like hanging out there on the,
Yeah.
on the little back porch. They got a screened in back porch back there, but it's been hot in Jacksonville this week. So yeah, it's been, you can only take so much of that. And, yeah, it's just kind of lazy. It's just kind of like relaxing and today was like
Yeah.
Tuesday was the first day, but I was really kind of tired today because after having the doctor's appointments on Wednesday, that just kind of wore me out.
Right.
So yeah, it was nice to be able to just lay around today and not really do much. And then, like I
So
say, we'll hit
for
it
a person
again
that
in the morning.
so when at this stage that you're at, do they want you to get up and try to walk around? Do they want you to
Oh
work
yeah.
out, or do they want you
Well, they don't.
relaxing?
I don't think they're really to the point where they want me trying to work out yet. But yeah, definitely the
Right.
walking.
Right.
Yeah, I would say
Right.
probably in the next few weeks, maybe the working out part. But yeah, they definitely want you trying, walking around and kind of stay on the go, keep moving.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And Really.
What?
So yeah,
Are you watching that game?
that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I can always tell, kind of gauge by your level of activity. Like I'll send you messages and stuff throughout the day, and when
Mm-hmm.
you respond or when you like, I can tell like you're good, you're kind of good in that moment. And then there's times where there's
Right,
no response for a long period of time, and
bro.
it's
Yeah,
always weird because like I want to call and check in, and the other part's like, nah, he's probably wanting to sleep right now. So it's always weird, like
yeah. There are moments
knowing.
where that phone is like laying right there next to me, and yeah, just the thought of rolling over and picking it up. It's just you'd be like,
Too
nah,
much.
yeah, I'll deal, yeah, I'll deal with that later. So yeah, it kind of
Right.
comes and goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope you never and don't ever feel any type of way. Like we all know, we all understand. Like I said, like when we're sending you stuff or whatever, it's always just checking in with you, but don't ever feel like definitely not taking it personally when you're not responding. But I do worry all of a sudden. Then I'm like, well, shit. Do I need to message Melanie?
Yeah,
But
and usually I'll
yeah,
let Melanie know. I'll be like, hey, you might want to send a message out, let everybody know that I'm just
she's
not
good
quite
about that.
feeling it today, or yeah, yeah,
Yeah, and she has, again,
yeah,
she's been a writer. She's been good about that, giving us updates,
yeah,
letting us know when you're in the mood, letting us know if it's a good time to call or whatever. She's been great about that. So again, she's the
right, yeah.
MVP on
Because
that
like you
for
said, I
real.
don't want people thinking that I'm just blowing them off or whatever. But it's just hard. It's just hard to understand, because you would think, well, he can roll over and send a text, but I'm telling you, sometimes you just ain't feeling it. You just ain't feeling it.
Yeah, yeah. I think for me it's so weird because I read this article one time written by, it was a woman who was like, she was like terminally ill, and
Hmm.
she basically was talking about how people just seem to like completely distance themselves from her from the
Right,
time that she was
right,
diagnosed with cancer. And she's
right.
like, I'm still alive, like I'm still here.
Yeah,
Quit treating me like, or when they did reach out, they only like, people would be like doing life stuff, but then they didn't want to talk to her about life stuff because then they thought, oh, it's gonna make her depressed or whatever. And she's like, I just want people to talk to me normally. Like, don't,
yeah,
like it didn't always have to be about the gloom and doom or about what
right.
I'm going through. She's like, and so after reading that article, I never looked at it from that perspective because
Yeah, and I
you
can
know,
understand that because it's kind of like it's good to see people living their lives and doing things. That's not bothering me at all. If anything, that's motivation for me.
right,
I want to go do that. I want to get out and
right,
do that. So when I
right,
get on social media and I see people are doing their things or traveling or whatever it is, they out kicking it, they having a good time. That's like motivation for me.
right,
So yeah, there's
right.
no problem there. I'm not. It's not like I'm gonna be sitting around like, look at this motherfucker here, out here. Yeah, it's nothing like that. It's like do your thing. Enjoy yourself. You know,
Right,
and that drives me. And helps me. Because it's like I want to go do that. Like when you were in
right,
Costa Rica, and Melanie's been to Costa Rica. I want to go to Costa Rica one day. So it's the things like
right,
that. That they actually help, you know,
right,
because I can kind of lay in the bed or whatever I'm doing, sit around and think, man, I wonder what that's like, I wonder what,
right.
and
Yeah,
it kind of gets me out of my headspace, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
there's been times where I've gotten on travel sites knowing that I'm not finna go anywhere, but just to look, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm actually looking at room prices, like I'm getting ready to take a trip, whatever I can do to kind of get my mind off what's going on, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And little things like that, they help. They help. So
Yeah, I don't know, man, Ursula. This is obviously knowing you. You know, you've been in my life since I was 8 years old,
Mm-hmm.
and I know you. I know your heart, and obviously, like our perspectives of people are vastly different based on our experiences with people. But
Mm-hmm.
to see you going through this, and I mean, I say it all the time, and I tell this to people all the time. I tell this, I can't ever say it enough, man. Like it's one of the things, like I don't know, it's so remarkable because there's so many people that are just so bitter and just and they could be in a position like this and they go to victim mode and why me and this and that and that would be natural for a lot of people. That'd be a natural response. And
Right.
you are just a different human being, man. You're just cut from a different cloth. And I think when I was talking to you about doing like this kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
this is really what I wanted people to see. Because this is the shit that I see. This is the shit that I know about you.
Right.
And I want other people to see this, because there ain't no faking, ain't no fronting. Like this is who you are. And like I love that about you. And there's a lot of people who, growing up, there's so many of my friends, like, they reach out and they ask about you and shit too. And it's so funny because I remember people saying like they used to be like intimidated by you, like because you was quiet, right? And they'd be like, he was always cool, but he was quiet, so they'd always be like, they were thinking, oh, Ursula, So it's funny when people seeing you like these last few years, even though the way you are on social media, like they're getting to see your sense of humor, like
Right.
you and Melanie when you're out, and then even with you going through this, like people are still getting to see your sense of humor. They're getting to see like the very selfless side of you that we who are very close to you like know, love, and see about you, man. And that's I don't know. Again, I can't say it enough just how fucking remarkable it is because you could be acting many different ways and you're still like even you saying that now, like, hey, I want to see people living. I want to see people doing. Like,
Right.
that's cool.
Right.
Terrence over here, he said, Ercil, can I see that old form? Let me see you flick that wrist, that jump shot, bro. Craig Hodges.
Terrence is a fool.
Terrence is a fool.
I'm always Craig Hodges, Trent Tucker, or somebody.
Was it Ron Harper? Wasn't it Ron Harper before
Oh
too?
no, everybody.
Yeah. Nah, I don't know, man. It's good though, and there's obviously there's so many people that are loving and showing support, man, and I don't know. It's crazy, man. These are all these reminders that we get every day in life, and I don't know. I'm thankful for you so much, and Jordan is as well. We
Yep.
talk about it, and I know it's never want not trying to be all sentimental and all that shit. Like, and I don't mean sentimental like it's not okay to be sentimental. It's very much okay,
Mm-hmm.
but I also want to say it like in a very much like not just when it's us. I want it to be known how much we appreciate the fuck out of you, how good you've been to us our entire fucking lives. And if you can talk to me, you talk to me about things you wish you'd have done differently or mistakes you've made. But the one thing that you never messed up on was being a father to us.
Right.
You were always that love. You were always that support. You were our biggest fucking fan, along with my mom, and you were our harshest critic too. You being our ass, and you guys were always so real with us, man. And I don't know, like I'm so thankful, man. The more I get to know people, and I hear about these people's situations and their home life and how they grew up and shit, and I'm like, man, I got friends that they grew up, they had so much money and shit, and they had all the things that they could ever want. But
Right.
man, they didn't have like the love that we had. We never lived in that house and went without. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Or were lacking love and support from our family, from our parents, man. And I can't thank you enough. And
Yeah, I just,
anyway,
I didn't want to be a part of seeing somebody go down and make some of the bad decisions and some of the mistakes I made in my life. So, and I exposed y'all to some of this stuff at a young age. People act like they're afraid to expose their kids to things. But sometimes the only way the kid can learn what's going on out there in the world is to put them in it.
Absolutely.
And let them see it and then tell the story. This person is doing this, and this right now. But let's see what happens 5 years down the line. Let's see, you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
yeah, so I'm all about realism. I'm all about, you know,
Yeah.
straight to your face, realism, I because I can sometimes I think about some of the music, I let y'all listen to, but you know what? And here
Yeah.
it seems like we always end up talking about hip hop. But the thing
Yeah.
that people fail to realize, and especially in the hip hop during the time that you guys were growing up, is that somebody like Ice Cube would tell a story about dealing dope and this and that and blah, 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 blah. But he would also tell the story about the 57 years or that he's going to
Yes.
get, and it's like a lot of times people miss the message, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I remember taking y'all to Tulsa and we hanging out and
Yeah.
yeah, and dudes was
Yeah.
wild, dudes was
Yeah.
wild, but and then on the way home, I'd have to let you know,
Yeah.
it's probably not going to turn out good for this person, it's just,
Yeah.
it's just the reality, I love this person, but it's probably not going to turn out good for them, Hell, it didn't turn out good for me a lot of times, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in, you got to give it to people raw. They got to see the raw, uncut version. You know what I'm saying? That may not be the way for everybody, but and that goes to cultural differences. When you're raising black kids in this world, you got to go about it different than what you would
Right.
raising a white kid. It's just that simple. Because there's a lot
Facts.
of pitfalls. There are a lot of things that happen out there, that are different for black kids than white kids will ever deal with, And that's
Right.
why, the whole thing about dealing with police and things like that, people want to, they want to put blinders on and act like it's not two Americas. It's definitely two Americas out there, And
Facts.
and the craziness, this dude going up to Buffalo and shooting these people, and then they want to use that weak ass excuse about, they being replaced. Ain't nobody trying to replace you. That's the weakest ass excuse that I have ever heard in my life. Because if you lined up 100 black men, they will say that they don't want to replace you. And not only that, they would say that they don't want to trade places with you, because there's
No.
something, I don't know how to explain. There's something beautiful about growing up black in America. There's a lot of pitfalls. There's a lot of hazards. There's a lot of shit that, like I say, people don't, normal people, other people won't have to deal with. But at the end of the day, it's a beautiful thing. You know what I'm saying?
Man, there's this little clip of Diddy, of Puff Daddy, P Diddy, whatever you want to call him, Diddy, and it's my favorite clip because he says he's looking at the camera. It's like a 7-second clip, and he's dead ass serious. And he goes, "I love being black." And he said, "No disrespect to anybody else, but I wouldn't want to be white or anything else. I love being black." And it's exactly what you just said though, because there's something about it. It's like, it's tough, especially it's hard. It's black. It doesn't matter where you're black at either. Black in an urban area with all black people, or black in an all white area. It's tough.
Right.
Like it's a different set of challenges. It's a whole different animal, but it's tough. And you were constantly reminded of what you are. And so for so many, I know people on the outside, they may think like, when they say black people pulling the race card or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have no clue. They have no clue because a lot of people ain't built for this life, and the things you're going to go through. Like, it tests your mental fortitude, And so it's funny whenever I meet cats, and here in Oregon is a very white state. There's not a lot of diversity, you know what I'm saying, at all. Portland is actually the largest metropolis or city with over 1 million people, with the lowest percentage of any other, race or nationality. It's all white people. But with that being said, so it's funny when you meet people and you get to clowning and cracking jokes or whatever, things that we grow up doing and the shit that we do, like
right.
with our friends and with our family. It's like the more we like you, the more shit we gonna talk to you, the more we gonna crack
Right.
on you.
Right.
And you grow up in these cultures and they don't grow up like that, and they're like, oh, you're being mean, or you know what I'm saying? Like it really gets them or hurts them. And you like, man, y'all have no clue. Like if some jokes from people that you love is the worst thing that happens to you, then you're doing all right, you know? Because there's so much more, man. And it's so interesting. But I love that you said that about you wouldn't trade it, because you know, you can't explain it. Like, yeah, it's tough and it ain't for everybody, clearly. But no, you ain't gonna trade this experience for shit, you know?
And that's why I give my parents a lot of props, you know, because we did a lot of moving around, and at the time, you know, it seemed like it was such an inconvenience. And, you know, I got to go from Memphis, which was segregated pretty much at the time when I was a kid, to San Diego. And when I got out to California, I'm seeing some things I had never seen in my life as a kid, you know, 6-7-year-old kid. You know, I'm seeing interracial relationships. I'm seeing black dudes riding motorcycles. You didn't see none of that in Memphis, you know, when I was a kid. It was just a trip. And then we got to move to Denver. And the thing that came out of all these places that we moved to is that my parents always had white friends, Mexican friends, Filipino friends, you name it, they had it. They had the parties. Their parties were mixed. There were people of all races, and I was taught, you know, that you love everybody, you know, and unfortunately in this country, we see that's not the case for everybody, you know. So I give my parents mad props for that, you know, because they were like, you know, we're not looking down on people because they're a different race or they're a different financial status, you know, none of that, you know.
Right.
We're all the same. And the sooner we get to that, which, you know, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. It ain't going to happen in my lifetime. You know, America, I don't know. America is just a trip. America's got a long way to go. You know what I'm saying? And, but yeah, I really do appreciate my parents for raising me that way, you know, because I'm cool with everybody. You know, that's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with being proud of, you know, who you are, where you come from. But, you know, there's limits to that shit, you know. And
absolutely.
And when you start making up excuses about you being replaced and this and that, yeah, that's where I got to draw the line. That's the biggest crock of bullshit I have ever heard, you know. Ain't nobody trying to replace you. We trying to live in America where we're free, just like you're free. And we aren't harassed, and, you know, that's the America we want, you know. We're not trying to replace you, you know. So, yeah, that's yeah, when I heard that, you know, an 18-year-old white dude is feeling like he's being replaced, but you shooting up old, elderly, middle-aged black people, you know, that don't make no goddamn sense, you know.
Right.
So, yeah, stop. Somewhere along the way, we got to stop the BS, man. Y'all got to quit fooling yourself and quit telling yourself that racism is not a problem in America. And somewhere we got to sit down and start having these tough-ass discussions, because that's what it takes. It makes people uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah.
But the only way we're going to get anything solved is, you know, is to have some discussions, express the differences, and at the end of the day, realize that regardless of what race you are or what religion you are, everybody wants the same things for their families, you know. Everybody wants the same, you know, they want their kids to be successful, you know, they want their grandkids or whatever, you know, and quit teaching that bullshit, man. Quit spreading that bullshit from generation to generation, you know, because this dude was 18. So, yeah. It wasn't like he was living in the 1830s or the 1930s, you know. So where did he learn all this bullshit from? And that's where it's got to stop, bro. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, just literally just last weekend, I'm at a friend's house, and there's a bunch of people over there, and we're watching UFC fights, and you know, I'm not saying any names or anything, but it was one of them things. Like at one point in time, we're cracking jokes, having fun, everybody's chilling or whatever. But then this one guy made a comment to another white guy to white guy. It was all white guys there. I'm the only person of color. And one guy said to the other guy, he was like, yeah, you'd probably be one of those guys in Eugene holding a BLM sign, you know? And he thought he was he thought he was like being funny, but he was also, and then he's like, I know, and he said something, he's like, I know it's going to be controversial before he said it, but yeah, you'd be one of those guys in Eugene holding, you know, talking about like liberal, basically, you know, hippy dippy dude saying you'd be another white guy holding a Black Lives Matter sign. And it was like everybody just kind of paused and it got real quiet in the room. And I looked at him and I was like, I didn't even remember what I said, but I was hot. Like, it pissed me off. And obviously, I'm the only person in that room that's going to be offensive towards, because everybody else in there was white, you know? And it's so funny because there have been situations, obviously in the past, there's been situations where my reaction would have been vastly different. I might have walked across the room and just punched him in his face.
Right.
Being young and dumb and angry, because having dealt with that for a good portion of my life, you know. Now as I've gotten older, it's more like, no, let me try to school this person, you know. And there's alcohol involved and stuff, but it was one of them things. I said, man, that's just, I was hot, like I was livid, and I was just like, you know, that's just some dumbass shit, and you knew you shouldn't have said it. Like, why do that? Like, you just acknowledged that it was controversial, and then, you know, and then after the fact, like, he apologized, we talked at the end, whatever, but that ideology, like, you know, and my other buddy was like, he's not like that, you know, like, he's not racist, I promise you, whatever. But it's like, and you just have to understand the context. Even the way I'm explaining it right now, it seems so small, it seems so benign, but it was, he knew what he was doing, and he meant what he was saying. He was trying to acknowledge that he thought that this dude was like this liberal hippie guy, and he was like, yeah, whatever. The Black Lives Matter movement is stupid, right? And that's neither here nor there. But the fact of the matter is, like, there was no point. I had nothing to do with this discussion, and he made it a point to make it about race. And that in itself just lets me know, like, I wasn't. It was almost like, were you trying to make me uncomfortable? Or are you uncomfortable with my presence in the room? Because had I not been there, that either doesn't come up, or, you know, it's just kind of swept under the rug, or they all laugh about it together, or however that goes. But it's such an interesting thing, you know, like, and I know those cats that act one way towards their black friends or towards their Hispanic friends or whoever, right? Or their gay friends, but then they got plenty to say when those people aren't around, you know, and then we're expected, because they do have friends, you know, of different ethnicities or of different lifestyles, that they're, you know, but I got black friends. Man, that shit doesn't ride like that. And like you said, we have to have those tough conversations to make these people understand why that's not okay. Like, how would you feel if you were in a room full of all black people, and then suddenly they're making, you know, little side comments about white people, you know? Like, how's that going to make you feel? As a matter of fact, let's not have it be one time. Let that be something you've dealt with your entire life, not just one occasion, you know? Because there's a lot of people that can hit you with that one time. One time I was in a bad part of Kansas City, or one time I was in a bad part of New Orleans, or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Let me get off my soapbox.
But yeah,
it's interesting. It's a strange time, man.
It is.
Wait, what time is it there? It's 11:45, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to keep you too long, man. I know we get these things, but other than that, no. Leave us just some parting words.
I'm hanging.
Put your ass on the spot.
Yeah, you put me on the spot. Yeah, I'm hanging in there, man. I'm gonna be good. Yeah,
absolutely.
It's just gonna be a slow process. Like I said, I appreciate all the thoughts and the prayers and people reaching out. You know, I've made some new friends through this. You know,
right?
People reaching out, sending me friend requests, and And yeah, it's cool, man. At the end of the day, it's gonna be cool. Everything's gonna work out, and like I say, be positive, keep your heads up, and you know, love everybody, man. We all Americans, you know. The United States of America, we the divided states of America. Love everybody, bro. You know.
Right.
Let's get over this little petty shit, you know, that we got going on, you know, because it's been going on too long, man. And that's really about it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's
All
it.
right. Well, let you go. I know you got those doctor's meet or the appointments and everything in the morning.
Yes,
So
sir.
good luck with all of that.
Yeah, 6:45. I don't know who
Oh
scheduled
shit.
that.
Yeah.
They didn't consult with me.
Well,
I know that.
you said what?
I said I don't know who scheduled that, but they didn't consult with me. I got no input on that. But I'll be done by
Nothing.
about 11:30 at the latest, probably. So yeah. And then I got the whole weekend to chill. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, definitely be in touch and love you
Yep.
and
Love you
keep
too.
thugging it out.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Shit. All right.
Peace.